Coach, I know, we mentioned the name Jackson State. They're not eligible for the title this year. Alcorn picked second. Does that have an effect on you guys, or what do you think about that?
I think polls are all propaganda. At the end of the day, we're going to come out and play brave football for 60 straight minutes. We're going to have a great time putting it up. We're going to have a great time playing aggressive defense and outstanding special teams. So at the end of the day, we're going to let the chips fall where they may. It doesn't really matter where they pick us. You still got to play the games, and all of them are going to be played on that 50 by 100.
Now, Dr. Brown, I guess you were one of the presidents that, they said the presidents chose whether or not to let them in, or
I don't even have to say anything on that. They'll all take. I abstained from that vote.
You abstained from that vote?
He abstained for that vote, but I can tell you right now, from some comments earlier, I sense where that vote would have been, but I don't even think, I don't even think that you have to question that, I think we both know where that vote would have been, but, they've taken care of their business. They've taken care of their business in the classroom as well as on the field. So, you have to respect that, and that's something that other universities, particularly Jackson State and Southern University, have to take care of. Because at the end of the day, it's about being a student athlete. And if you're not a student athlete, then, there will be some punishment for that. So obviously, you respect that and you congratulate it, for that. But the question, Coach, we did a show earlier this year, and the question was, are you recruiting to win or are you recruiting to graduate? And I want to ask, both you and Coach Riley, Coach Riley touched on it a little bit earlier, but, you're both new here at the university. So I know there's pressure, but there's not a ton of pressure to say, I got to have 6 wins, or I got to have 7 wins, or I got to have 8 wins, or I got to win, go 10-1. What type of athletes are you really recruiting? Is it one that's kind of quote unquote borderline, or is it an individual that'll give us a 4.0 in the classroom?
Well, I think the main thing is that certainly we are an institution of higher learning. That's basically what we do. Our task is to win these football games, but still our main objective is to get these young people prepared for corporate America and have an opportunity to come to our place and be developed where they can go out and compete in a global market. And so when you look at those players, we want the very best players. But if everybody else is recruiting guys that have higher standards, why can't we? And it doesn't matter how many of them out there. We have some pitfalls, but I just want to bring to our attention is that, this APR thing just arose.
Correct.
When you look at traditionally what we've done in our conferences, particularly in the historically black colleges, we've always graduated our players. This has never been an issue for us, and certainly not at Alcorn State University. When I was at Grambling, I was 98%, at least 35 to 40 kids was on the honor roll every year. Those are the standards that we set for ourselves. So therefore, I don't think it's a big issue about APR. Personally, I don't, because our task is to make sure that they matriculate in order to get an outstanding education. That's really what it boils down to. We better find some guys that basically play football at a high level and go to school, and we've done that for a long time. So I don't hold that argument about what type of players that you get, because I can assure you when you look at demographics, and the good thing about my side of it, we have demographics. All the guys that they said that was not going to make it, we had 165 of them graduated from Grambling, but they came to Grambling under the ACT score of 15, 16, but every one of those young men graduated based on our system. And the things that Dr. Brown is talking about in his vision of moving us to a higher level, our expectation factor is a lot greater than just going to school to play football. No, we're not a football factory, but we play great football. We're going to have a good time. Still, at the end of the day, like you said, Deuce, we're only there for one reason. That's to get an outstanding education.
You're listening to the Ultimate Braves Experience here on Talking Sports Live with Deuce McAllister and Rob J. Our guest, officials from Alcorn State, head football coach of Alcorn State, Melvin Spears. Coach, you mentioned Gabriel Gray a moment ago. Now, he was drafted in Major League Baseball. How do you keep him at Alcorn and play football?
Well, he's already enrolled. I got a text the other day.
What you got down there, Coach?
They said Gabriel Gray is back. But the thing that's significant, like Deuce alluded to earlier about the kinds of players that we're brought in. We got Damian Wilson, who everybody in the state, Mississippi State to Tennessee, everybody recruited, who's on our campus. Anthony Williams, who was the #1 player in the state of Louisiana, who's on our campus as well. And the 2 or 3 quarterbacks that we brought in are going to be just as effective. But Gabriel Gray was depicted as the very best player in the state, and he went off to play baseball. His folks sent me a text the other night and said enrolling at our institution. So hey, you better get ready.
Rob, you wouldn't have cut it down there. You wouldn't have cut it on the reservation, Rob. I can already tell you wouldn't have cut it, Rob.
Wait a minute, let me tell you something about the reservation, son, that you don't know about me going.
Let me hear it.
Now,
I'm just talking about driving down there.
Wait, I'm talking about. I spent every about 4 or 5 hours of practice down at Alcorn in that hot heat, son, with a camera on my back. So going up and down them hills down at Alcorn. So I survived and didn't fall out. Now I'll tell you, I was with Katina Rankin one year. I forgot who was the coach. It was Cardell Jones actually.
Okay.
And it was steaming, smoking hot. She fell out, but your boy,
held on,
baby.
You made it to the car. That was it.
Made it to the car.
but in light of that, that's why we decided we had an opportunity to talk to our communication folks. We're going to develop our own beat writer. Simply because of the fact that our communication department is doing excellent. We got 4 TV stations, studios that are down there, and certainly we don't have to have him come down, Doc. What we're doing now is that we'll do our own, and then we'll send it over to them, and then they can make those adjustments when they start packing it.
Coach Spear Devil, he won't anyway, though.
No,
Coach, he already been fussing about the gas. He don't want to pay for the gas.
Coach, let's do it, Coach.
I figured that if we're looking around the country, in our location, we had to come up with an idea that was going to put us in the mainstream.
Cutting edge.
And we have the facilities that are on the cutting edge. Our facilities are as good as it gets. So, therefore, we should bring our students in. We can create our own beat writer. And every afternoon when they start talking about sports, we're on.
And you know what, Coach? I commended Dr. Brown for this earlier, that you have that system where you can send footage all across the country. And that is fantastic. I've been trying to get all of these other schools in the SWAC to do that.
Don't do that. That's right.
but I mean, it's wonderful that you guys have done that because, like you said, it's some stations won't go to Alcorn. They won't go down there to cover Alcorn. I won't say that about me. I go to Alcorn and cover Alcorn. I've done it for years, every year since I've been where I am for the last 20 years. But that makes it very, very convenient to do that, and nobody can complain about not having Alcorn State footage. Nobody can do that now since Alcorn has a system where they can send the footage out to all of the stations in the state and beyond. So I want to commend. I commend Dr. Brown. I commend you too, Coach, for having that. That's fantastic, man, to have that.
Well, Coach, I know if anything that we can do here at Talking Sports Live and Dr. Brown and Coach Riley, if there's anything that we can do to help promote the university or get a message across to our listeners and across the state or across the U.S. for that matter, you know, we're going to try our best to do so.
Appreciate it.
I just want to say that they ought to come down to the reservation where the grass is a little greener, the air is a little cleaner, the water's a little sweeter, and we're just that much closer to heaven. So, ought to come check us out.
Oh my goodness! Well, Dr. Brown, we certainly appreciate you gentlemen stopping by our studios. I know it's busy, Coach. I know it's football time, and you're practicing, and you get away to do this. I know the next thing in Jackson, I don't know if you'll be able to attend, is the Jam, which is going to be on Monday. I don't know if you'll be able to attend that, but you know, you guys are very accommodating, and all of the times I've been to Alcorn, they've been very accommodating. Feature good chicken, feature good rice. They just feature, man, till you don't want no more, son.
Where is it going to your body?
See, that's what I'm talking about. This is how we're gonna fall out up in here, Coach. And Coach Riley, now that Riley is down there, he's threatening me to come to Alcorn. Let me tell you what he did the other day, man. It was about a month ago. He had a camp at Alcorn. He calls me at 10 o'clock that morning. Said, man, you need to come to the camp. I said, what time, man? 11. I said, man, Alcorn is not like Provine right across the street, man. I got to make preparations to go down there. But I made it down there. Then the coach.
You made it third. You had 2 other TV stations to beat you.
But anyway, I really thank you guys for coming by. Anything else, anyone else like to add? Coach Riley, I'll give you some closing remarks this evening.
Thanks for having us on ESPN Talk. You should do it once a month.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got new stuff every week.
Coach Spears, anything you'd like to close out with?
Yes, I really appreciate the opportunity of having us on, and certainly we always want to put our best foot forward. The main objective is really to promote our university at a high level. We're doing some outstanding things there. When you think about our facilities and all the things that Dr. Brown had put together there, you know, you got to come out and see us. The old saying right now is fear the spear.
And Alcorn opens the season against Grambling State in Shreveport. Coach said, fear the spear.
You heard it.
Dr. Brown, anything else like that, sir?
Thanks for having us. Come check us out on the reservation.
It's been the ultimate Braves experience here on Talking Sports Live with Why you tell Dr. Brown?
I'm telling the truth.
Why you do that? See you back next week.